These days, there's just so many highlighters on the market. So how do you go on about picking the one? Do you go by size and design, the price or the brand, or maybe by the color on the paper? Well, through its life, it's bound to change. And there's no way for you to know how long it'll last in the first place. One could go for just a few pages, while highlighter B, a lot more. And some of them you can refill too. Imagine how much plastic waste your uninformed decision could generate. Maybe you are more mindful and tried finding something useful on YouTube. I know how funny that sounds. With the whole hustle culture, you'll be lucky if they actually spend an hour using them. And all these color comparisons is like saying your kid will always look like a toddler. But today, you hit the jackpot. Hi, name's Alex Train, and I actually test how long they last for, how they work on different kinds of paper, and in general, try to use common sense in my reviews. But getting all of these proved to be a challenge as I live in Ukraine, which means availability, distribution, and just getting somewhere is a pain in the ass. Some genius even signed a law that we get kicked out of public transport during an air raid alert. All these road stops and traffic jams explain the 67 kilometers of walking. I went to stores, supermarkets, warehouses, and industrial zones. Personally, I was curious about the price to performance ratio, so besides the well-known brands, I picked up the cheapest highlighter I could find, as well as probably the most popular option that sells from every supermarket, store, kiosk, and even an underpath here in Ukraine, allegedly made by a Ukrainian company, but probably comes from China. And to finish it off, I got a store brand highlighter from Auchan that is known for providing high quality bargains. Brand new highlighters should be the best to demonstrate bleed through, show through, and smearing potential, so I tested them on various paper, starting from probably the cheapest notebook in Kiev, different printer paper, and concluding with some more premium options. Besides the predictable results on the cheapest tetradka, only the Auchan store one could be seen on some of the papers. Smearing, surprised Pikachu, really depends on your choice of pen and paper, as they really do have different dry times and levels of absorption. Pencils and ballpoints you could pretty much use instantly. With gel pens, you really should wait, or get the Stabilo, as it seems to have the best performance for the impatient. It's one of the most popular and best-selling highlighters in Europe, made since 1971, with 9 fluorescent and 14 pastel colors for you to choose from. Oh, and they're refillable. As it happens, it's the most expensive highlighter in this review, well, at least here in Ukraine, and that's if you will be lucky to get your hands on one, as they are only sold in one store by the distributor, who's located in the middle of an industrial zone. Well, there's the Pilot Friction, which did cost more, but I'll be covering the smaller size highlighters in a separate video. But for those living in a non-war-torn country, it's probably not as significant, and I doubt you would find a 12-cent highlighter anyway, so it's more about convenience. Should you order and wait for the 2-day shipping from Amazon, or just pick whatever at your closest store? With Stabilo, you're paying for testing, quality control, and peace of mind, if they actually stand behind the brand, that is. As my Fisher Space Pen and Sakura Jelly Roll review showed, some brands don't. Check them out, and subscribe for more stationery reviews. As I said, even printer paper can be different. So for the next test, I took 4 different kinds, with 10 pens and pencils, while increasing the wait time to about 15 minutes. Seems generous enough, like you have the time to take a few notes and then highlight after. As you can see, even Stabilo suffers from a bad pen and paper combo. The amount of pressure you put also plays a role, and I would probably use less in a day-to-day scenario, but filming at an awkward angle you sort of have to. And that's exactly why unbiased independent reviews are so important. Stores can have different commissions from different brands and have other sale incentives. As there's so much competition, they can sugarline it for the seller to push a certain brand. And why sponsorship and ad disclosure is so important, as influencers will sell you whatever they are paid for, and it wouldn't be hard to rig the tests by applying more pressure or choosing specific paper. And if you're willing to fork out 20% to someone who just brought you food, why not buy me a coffee? As I spend days trying to save your money and the environment for literally nothing in return. And yeah, use my affiliate links too, as the job market in Ukraine has seen better days. Next, I took more troublesome pens and tested them with higher quality notebook paper. The most left one is paper made out of stone by Ogami. Then we have Luxroom 1917, Rhodia, and Ciak. And by the way, I'm reviewing all the pens you see in this video, including how long they write for. Right now I'm just trying to figure out a way to measure smoothness in a quantifiable way. The next logical step would be to see how well the highlighters can overlap, say when the required area is larger than what they can normally cover, or if there happens to be an annoying gap in the middle, ruining the perfection, which could happen with the tip wearing out, something I'll be covering very soon. But for now, enjoy seeing BiC fail with the cheapo highlighters, as Germany reigns supreme. And if you plan on using your highlighter in a textbook or journal, some of those can be glossy, so I don't really know why most reviewers skip those. And once again, I took a whole bunch of different glossy papers, starting from simple spam and ending with premium glossy, again German, gift books. And the glossiest thing that I found is an old calendar that hopefully won't get my video demonetized. Oh yeah, I'm not monetized anyways. It's rather interesting that the cheaper ones didn't have any trouble, whereas the big brand BiC and Schneider had issues on the glossier papers, while Stabilo struggled on our front. It could be easily erased, so Faber-Castell takes the crown here. For the longevity test, I obviously had to get 2 sets of each highlighter, and here are the results. Will the most affordable highlighter be the underdog that wins the race? We'll soon find out. I'm also demonstrating the tip wear, left being new, and right after the test. Obviously, the numbers are for this particular highlighter, and your mileage can vary, but it's still a good idea to have some benchmark. The good and useful numbers are also arbitrary. And yeah, the first highlighter got smashed already. So even if you're short on cash, buying the cheapest one would cost you more, as you get more highlighter usage and you don't have to waste your time to get to the store or to order one. I don't know why, but only Auchan put the production date on the marker body itself. Also, we start having small gaps in the middle of the line from like page 3 or something, which considering the overlap test is not a good thing. But again, this could be only an issue with my specimen, or a red flag about quality control or crappy tips. The first A-lister to enter the test really did impress with the numbers. Spoiler alert, it is the longest writing highlighter and could write 10 times more than Nameless. So not only you're saving the planet while having a better experience, but you're saving your hard-earned cash. I found it really funny how all the non-testing reviewers talked about the price, but knowing how long will they actually last for. And yeah, don't miss my follow-up video, as it will have some shocking examples to prove my point. The rounded form, in my eyes, is superior to the boxy nature of the competition. But even writing it out fully, I don't exactly see the usefulness of the grip, especially considering that it's not refillable. But I will gladly take quality over quantity, especially considering I've seen these on sale for 17 hryvnia, which means I could buy almost 2 of these for 1 BiC. I really had to struggle saying what's good or usable. With Schneider, I don't. Everything was recorded with the same lights and settings, and quality speaks for itself. The distributor promised that these Stabilo highlighters are fresh. In fact, she didn't sell me another popular brand that I wanted to test in my review, as they might be of subpar quality. And yes, that was the only place to buy them. Well, fresh or not, but after the stellar performance of his German brother, I can't really recommend them. Yes, they're refillable, but even their refills seem to be of a poor design when compared to the king of this review. The Faber-Castell, the production process and machinery look very similar, but there's an evident difference in performance. And unlike the no-name brands, they sustainably manage their own 10,000 hectare forest and plant around 300,000 seedlings a year. On top of that, a third of the forest remains untouched, providing habitat for more than 700 animals and plant species. They also use 85% of renewable energy, but personally I hope Germany starts looking more into the peaceful atom. As the war in Ukraine, you can see highlighted the energy question. The pinnacle of highlighter technology. The S-Class that's more stable than all of my relationships. And brighter than the future. The highlighter that aced pretty much all of my tests, unless you have a very rainy pen, but that's on you. I will upload all the pages in a different lighting arrangement so you can admire the quality, as most would have gaps or other imperfections pretty early on, but they're hard to see, especially in 1080p footage. And the refills, they're just on the next level when compared to Stabilo. The Germans will probably hate me for butchering all of their names. Whatever it might be, the urge to save the planet, your own money, or maybe just you want to get the colors that were advertised and you tested in the stores and not this, refills are pretty essential for it, as the tips are pretty good. But finding out when you should refill without a point of reference could be tricky. And how do people usually call this brand in the US? Stabilo? Is actually developing an app to help you. But their single-use refills could really take a page from Faber's inkwells that can refill your highlighter up to 8 times. You just stick it in and wait. And if you do accidentally turn it over, it shouldn't cause a mess. But I'd still be careful. And the marker has to be inside. And I really wanted to cover a lot more, including desk stands, 3D printing accessories, but this video is getting far too long. So please comment, like, and subscribe. See ya.